Hi, welcome to the video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy, and comment your thoughts and opinions on the stories. Let's get started. Am I the antagonist for making my husband feel like shit about food? I, 28F, was sent home from work 4 days ago after being exposed to someone who tested positive. It's unpaid. I've taken tests and I'm negative, but they still say I can't return until Monday. This came at the worst time due to our landlord raising our rent from $950 to $1,400 2 months back and us struggling financially, to a point where I've even applied for food stamps, just to be denied. We have 3 kids combined. I have 1 biologically and 2 stepkids he has full custody. All of our bills are now up to $3,600 a month and we only bring home $3,850, roughly, combined. But anyways, I was denied. We have been going to food banks a lot. So now we are currently trying to find a different home in an already trash market. It's been difficult. Anyways, I've been home for 4 days. The kids obviously go to school and get school lunch. Our whole school district has free school lunch. Thank God. My husband has a free meal, provided every single shift as well. So the kids and him are able to eat and be full. We have plenty for dinner for the kids because of the food bank, but are very limited on lunch stuff. As in, basically nothing. There is not enough for me to eat dinner, so usually my husband will bring me home a couple slices of pizza when he gets home from work at 11 PM. Well, for the past 3 out of the 4 days I've been home, my husband has been allowing his daughter to stay home. Just because she isn't sick. That means that I have not eaten a single thing in 3 days, because what little food we do have for lunch supplies has been feeding his daughter and there is not even close to enough food for me to eat as well. He wasn't able to bring anything home for me for the past 2 nights either, so I haven't eaten since the day before yesterday. I had peanut butter crackers, and I'm fucking done. I'm hungry. I'm pissed off. Well, this morning I tell all the kids to get ready for school, and I was so looking forward to being able to eat lunch today. But once again, he allowed his daughter to stay home from school because she said her eye hurts. She has glasses that she refuses to wear, so I'm not surprised that her eye hurts, honestly. But once again, I now am not able to eat anything because it's going to go to his child. So I go on the porch to get away and he comes out and asks what's wrong. So I said maybe it's due to the fact that I'm going on day 3 of not having a single fucking thing to eat, while all of you get to have meals and full stomachs. Now he is saying he can't believe I'm pissed that his child is eating and holding it against him. Am I the antagonist? Now for the top comments. NTA. Nothing is wrong with the child. Take her ass to school where she can eat and learn something. I'm concerned as to why he is letting her miss so much school for no reason. Because a lot of people choose the path of least resistance instead of actually parenting, especially when there are other stresses going on. NTA. Let dad leave. Pack her up and take her to school. Tell her to bring her glasses. You shouldn't have to go hungry because she just doesn't want to go to school. That's ridiculous. You're not angry she's eating. You're angry she's being coddled while you have circumstances put of your control and now are hungry for it. Side note. Sit down with SD and talk to her about school. There might be something more you aren't being told. Or email the teacher. I had to scroll a while to find this, and honestly this didn't even come to mind for my own comment. You make a good point. What if something is going on at school, and allowing her to stay home is just avoiding that situation? One of the parents needs to contact the school to figure this out. I hope Bob sees this. Great insight BTW. Am I the antagonist for kicking my sister out when she blew my money on online game? My 22F. Sister 27F has been living with me and my 3-month-old for the last 2 months after her company liquidated. She wasn't there long enough to receive a redundancy payment, so she was kind of screwed. Aside from the issue here, I was a good housemate. She was clean, had people over but never too many or too often, helped out with the baby, just generally okay to live with, especially since she has actually been job hunting. Now the problem is, my sister was a recovered gambling addict. All of her bank cards have gambling blocks in place. Because her addiction was so severe, she even would blow money on online games. such as Coin Master this time. It doesn't even need to be real money she's winning. Just the spinny shit gives her that happy chemical. All it results in is losing money. She was using my tablet to do this, which I unknowingly had Google Pay set up on. I never changed the settings so that I'd need a password to buy anything on the Play Store. Since I thought I was the only person with access to it, I was wrong. Yesterday alone, my sister managed to blow my entire paycheck on Coin Master, and I wasn't aware until this morning when I went to get my groceries. But my card declined. I checked my banking app and emails and she had managed to spend everything on game packs. This meant that I wasn't able to grocery shop for the next 2 weeks. And while I can survive on what I have, the baby cannot, because we are low on everything for him, but I can't get what I need. I've posted on FB groups and stuff, but there haven't been much help yet. I admit, I was maybe more angry than I should been at my sister, and as soon as I got home, I kicked her out. I didn't give her a reason, or let her know I know she spent everything. I just kicked her out. When our parents called to ask why, I explained S&D. They said I'm being unfair. That since I didn't set up necessary protection, and knowing she has a problem, I'm being an asshole. They won't speak to me now, and have taken my sister, who blocked me, in. Am I the antagonist? Now for the top comments. NTA, and your parents, your child's grandparents, are perfectly fine with defending and enabling a situation, theft, an actual crime as well, which could very possibly lead to health issues to the baby. Psychos, the lot of them. Please protect yourself and baby from her and your parents. I would bet money on her retaliating in some way. My worst thought is her calling CPS and framing it as you and not her gambled away the money and now can't feed or care for your own baby. That second part, please report to whoever you can about the situation, police, bank, Google, WTV, and ask for some kind of proof of your report. Maybe she won't call CPS, but in case she does, protect yourself and your child. NTA, call your bank and tell them that the payments were made without your knowledge or consent. Do the same thing with Google Pay. Stuff like this happens all the time with kids doing it etc. So they should both have some idea on what you can do to recover at least some of your money. She knew what she was doing. She knew it wasn't her money she was spending, and she stole from you. Addiction is a disease, but that doesn't protect the person from the consequences of their actions. Am I the antagonist for telling my friend the truth about why she never gets a second date? My NB19 friend, F20, Claire, fake name, have known each other for 2 years and go to uni together. We're both single and are both overweight. It's relevant. Claire has been struggling to find a partner recently, and it's been getting to her a bit, because she has been on a few dates with people but very few, 1 or 2, have agreed to a second date. She thinks it's because people don't want to date a bigger girl, but my guess is that many people are put off by the fact that she lacks relatively basic manners on some stuff. For example, she often chews with her mouth open, talks with food in her mouth, or talks really loudly, even if she's in a quiet place. She's aware that she does this sometimes, but she still does it. Recently I was hanging with her at her place and we were talking about an upcoming date I have with someone that I've seen a few times before. She's been super supportive and happy for me throughout it. At some point she talked about how she wishes she knew how to attract people that weren't too shallow and would like her for her personality instead of focusing on her looks. She added that I was lucky I found someone that liked people with my style. I have a goth style when she has a very into hippie style. I told her that her personality and her looks were not the issue, because she's a very pretty and funny girl, but that first impressions were important in dating, and that things like chewing your mouth open was a common turn off. She was pretty quiet afterwards. When I got home, she texted me that what I said was uncalled for, and that not everyone was taught perfect table manners. So I shouldn't act like I knew better. I didn't reply because I'm still surprised that she reacted like this, because I don't have perfect manners either. But the things she does are legitimate things that would put people off on a first date. Am I the antagonist for what I told her? Now for the top comments. Not everyone was taught perfect table manners. Lol. Chewing with your mouth open is something you learn as a child. And when adults do it, it's very annoying. NTA. This is basic social conduct. Even if she didn't learn, she knows it now. Not learning something in childhood doesn't give you an exemption from that rule after you learn it as an adult. NTA. Exactly. Chewing with your mouth closed doesn't require going to cotillion. At most you sit your ass in front of mirror and eat a meal one time. Then expend a tiny amount of mental effort going forward when eating. Just be self-aware, which I feel like most people are on a first date. This could also give her trouble in other areas of life. Getting a higher level job, for example, probably won't happen if her coworkers get grossed out eating around her. That kind of thing does make an impact. Even getting other friends. Plenty of people would be less inclined to hang out with someone they don't want to eat with. Not everyone was taught perfect table manners, so I shouldn't act like I knew better. She's 24, fuck's sake. Not 7. Her upbringing is irrelevant to her table manners at this point. NTA. Am I the antagonist for telling my husband it's time to hash things out with my mom? I know this gonna sound weird, but I'm literally struggling with it. So my husband and my mom don't get on. Like at all. They fight constantly. Admittedly, mom is the one who usually starts, but my husband also escalates and refuses to let it go every time. It's exhausting for the entire family, and they don't even fight over something worthy. They just nitpick each other's words. My husband told me many times that the solution would be that he stops going with me over to mom's house. I refuse this solution because it's not practical, nor is fit for long term. Besides, I don't feel comfortable attending family functions by myself like I'm single. My suggestion is for him to try to ignore her at least, and he said he would try. On Mother's Day dinner, mom noticeably started commenting on my husband's mother, implying that she hated her children and isn't proud to be a mom just because she refused to celebrate with them. My husband wanted to respond, but whispered to him to let it go and stay calm, and he did. He still looked visibly upset, but didn't say a word, which made me think that my solution worked. But I was wrong. Once we got home, he followed me to the bedroom and said, "Listen, I am never going back to that house ever again after all the shit your mom done." I sighed and didn't say anything till he started throwing a fit about me watching my mom insult his and not wanting him to react. I snapped and told him he was acting childishly. He asked how, and I told him by giving out threats and saying he won't go with me to my mom's house again. He tried to make excuses, saying my mom created this situation and tried to put all blame on her. I told him he's no saint either. He has his moments and has a habit of letting things get this far. He said that I was the one who let things get this far by not setting my mom straight. I told him his problem is with her and that it's time that hash things out with her once and for all. Just him and her. He sorta looked like I just offended him and told me I was wrong because this is my mom and it's my job to put a stop to her shenanigans and get her to understand that he was sick and tired of her bullshit. I told him he's an adult, why should I defend him while he hides behind me? He was like, okay. Don't get involved in the problem, but don't tell me how to deal with it. Then walked out and stopped talking to me. He even took the couch, which made me think that he was punishing me for something I didn't do. Am I the antagonist? Now for the top comments. AITA. What's the matter with you? Your mum keeps picking fights with your husband, and rather than speaking with your mum about it and placing boundaries, you instead tell your husband to shut up and take it. AITA. A huge one. But you don't get it. If he refuses to take it and stays home, she'll have to look single at family functions / etc. AITA. We talk about men standing up to overbearing mothers all the time, the answer being to stand with your spouse, but you are telling your spouse to suck it up and making him deal directly with her? No, not cool. And then there is this gem. My husband told me many times that the solution would be that he stops going with me over to mom's house. I refuse this solution. You are forcing them together, letting her make disparaging remarks unhindered, and then angry with your spouse for defending himself. Seriously, you're the a-hole. Either confront your parent yourself, or stop bringing your husband. Am I the antagonist for ruining someone's day during my wedding? throwaway account because I'm aware that I have relatives who do use Reddit. I, 26F, recently just got married a few days ago. It was a traditional Punjabi wedding and I had an absolute blast. For some context, I have 3 brothers and no sisters. In traditional Indian weddings, there are certain ceremonies where you would need your female relatives to be a part of. Since I have no sisters, my cousins stepped in. My families have always had a strained relationship with one another, always due to some petty fights that occurred years ago that some of the relatives just can't let go of. Most of the cousins don't partake in this because we're aware that it's ridiculous. I have one cousin I'll name X, 18F, who is extremely nice, but unfortunately super shy and timid. She has always been like this, and most of us have just grown up being protective of her, especially since she is one of the youngest cousins. During one of these ceremonies, I insisted that my cousin be a main part of it because I know she would genuinely enjoy it, but would be too shy to volunteer herself or ask for it. One of my cousin's fiancés, 28F, however, is quite the opposite. She constantly likes to put herself in the middle of everything, despite already being told of her given duties during the ceremony. This is the part where I may be the asshole. During one of the ceremonies, you are supposed to have one of your female relatives sit behind you on stage and basically just take care of you, fix your hair or your clothes, etc. I specifically told cousin X that she would be the one to do this for me. However, when the day came, my cousin's fiancé was the one who took her spot. I was confused, but could not do much. After the ceremony, I found cousin X and she explained to me that the fiancé who took her spot had basically scolded her and yelled at her, saying that she should be the one doing it since cousin X is still young and doesn't know anything. She then told cousin X to go sit down with the other guests. Despite cousin X's protests, cousin X's mother, my auntie who I absolutely adore and has been a huge help with the wedding, was quite upset with this, but did not want to cause a scene, and just told cousin X it's okay. When I heard this, I was furious. The fiancé took what was meant to be a special moment and made it all about herself. I sat the fiancé down and told her that she had no right to do what she did, and I was extremely upset with her for doing so. Apparently she was so upset by this conversation, she refused to come for the other ceremonies the next day. I was fine with this, because I generally don't like adults who throw temper tantrums, but my cousin says that I had no right to speak to his fiancé like that, and now his entire family has been constantly saying a lot of negative things about my family and the whole situation. Am I the antagonist? Now for the top comments. NTA, you should point out that she spoiled your day, and it was your day. Apparently she was so upset by this conversation, she refused to come for the other ceremonies the next day. This is the best thing she did on the day. Also, knowing how our Indian family dynamic works, I suspect her soon to be mother-in-law might have known her plan and just kept it quiet. NTA, the fiancé should have discussed the change with you first and not gone against your wishes. If family is mad, tell them that you are too, because the fiancé overstepped your boundaries by making a decision on your wedding. You choose X for a reason and her being old enough was for you to decide. NTA, man, a DC wedding is not complete until all the relatives are mad at each other. I hope you had a really nice wedding and that cousin X was able to help you out in other ways. What did your parents think of it all? Edit. Thank you for the award. Why did your cousin say you shouldn't yell at his fiancé? Am I the antagonist for wanting to open a box that has a do not open note on it? My 24F mother passed away about a month ago. Since then my sister, 39, and I have started to clear out the house. It's the house we grew up in. It's obviously been difficult going through mom's things, especially because my sister is super protective over so many things. I think she would prefer to do it alone, because she keeps asking me to not be too nosy. Anyway, today I was going through the attic and found a metal box with a note on it that just said do not open. I brought it to my sister and said we should find the key and try to open it, and she became angry. She said I was disrespecting my mother's wishes, etc. I told her I didn't think it was a big deal and we should open it. I didn't say this, but it's not like mom is around to care about her stuff anymore. My sister insisted I put it back and not try to open it. Her and my mom were always a bit closer and had their own little secrets together. I guess because my sister is the firstborn, but I think she's being too dramatic about a random box. But maybe I'm wrong. Am I the antagonist? Now for the top comments. I stuck a do not open label on one of my desk drawers. Colleague made silly jokes about finding all my secret stuff. Pulled the drawer open before I could stop her. And then looked startled because the drawer fell apart and landed on her feet and legs. I was waiting for maintenance to come and fix it. Maybe the box holds your mother's collection of ball bearings or something similarly awful to pick up. It's a box of loose glitter she confiscated from them as kids and didn't want to make a mess out of. It's a box of loose glitter she planted specifically to punish them for being nosy in the event of her death, and even if it's not, I'm going to do that now. Have a third party open it and assess what they think. If it's better left alone, they can destroy the contents. NTA, but there is a better way.